Hey, welcome back to my channel. I am Regina and I talk about all things behind the scenes in your business. Even if the things behind the scenes in your business is you, how can we elevate things? How can we elevate your business? How can we elevate you? How can we elevate the way you do things in your business? So that is what our channel is about. Today I want to talk about something that's very simple, something that we don't talk about a whole lot, and it's tracking your time. How do you track your time? How do you keep up on what you do every day? Some of the things that people will tell you is that, oh, well, I track my time. I know exactly what I do. I know, how to keep track of my day. But really, are you really measuring like how long it takes to do a task, how long it takes to do a service, how long it takes to do some of the things in your business? Because if you keep track of time when somebody's asking you how do you do something, or how long it takes, and you have a more accurate answer. If you're someone who bills by the hour, you'll know that a particular task might take you longer, so then you need to be able to think accordingly. You cannot just pull time out of the sky and say, oh, it takes about 15 minutes, about 20 minutes. The reason I can say that is I used to do that. I used to tell people, oh, it takes about an hour to do something. Then I would start working, and then lo and behold, it would be like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I'm looking into the third hour, and I'm like, wow, I'm doing 3 hours worth of work, but only getting paid for 1 hour because that's what I told someone, how long it takes. So tracking your time is as important as planning your time. So we have talked before about, tracking your day, planning your day, actually, anyway, like knowing exactly what you're going to do when you wake up, making a list, or however you do it the night before or the week before, like what you're going to be doing, all of the next week and the next days. But how do you actually track the time? So there are many different ways that you can do it, and I'm just going to give you a few ways that work for me. One of the things I do, I have on my computer, I have something called Clockify. You can track your time that way. So the minute you start doing a task, you hit the button and you just keep working. And when you finish, you hit the button so that you know that the time has stopped. So that's one way to do it. They have all kinds of software that help track your time. And it is good for people, especially if you have a team and the team goes out in the field, or the team is working independently, or the team, so that they can track exactly how many hours they put in. Kind of like the old time clock method, where we record exactly how long we're there. The other thing, another way to do it, and that actually works. That works in your business if you're someone who likes to keep track precisely and exactly of how much time they put. That really works, and it gives you a report at the end of the week, then in a month, end of the day, however you want to set it up, and you can see exactly what it is that you've been working on. Another way to do it is to just track the time, like when you're going to sit down to do your work, say, okay, well, it's 3 o'clock, I'm going to start and I want to be finished by 4:30. So you can either set a quick little alarm to sound off at 4:30, when you're finished, to know that when you should finish. The only thing with that, some people complain, is like they feel like they're like racing against the clock, like it's playing beat the clock. But you can't think of it that way. You have to think of it more like, well, I'm giving myself this amount of time to finish this task. And so if an hour and a half is what you think roundabout that it is, that when it gets to an hour and a half, if you're not finished, you don't have to abruptly cut it off and say, that's it, I'm finished. But what you can do is say, okay, well, I'm going to put this aside for now and work on something else, and then I'll get back to this. But all the while, you're seeing how long it takes you to do something. And sometimes doing it that way is kind of helpful, because it keeps you from pausing and stopping in between and answering the phone and doing all the things. And we don't want to do that. When you sit down to do your work, you want to stay as focused as you can, particularly if you're working for a client. You want to stay focused. You don't want to answer the phone. You don't want to, be flipping channels and doing all things. So if you set a clock, if you set a timer, and you know that when the timer is finished that I need to be finished, that's helpful. So you have to think about how you work. What is your style? Can you be disciplined and work from point A to point B, or from time A to time B? Or are you someone who gets easily distracted and something shiny pops up and then you're looking this way and that way? So think about how you work when you do things. And for some of us, you just have to turn off everything. You have to turn off everything and have complete silence, set that timer, and then go. So one of the things that I do, I am a collector of hourglasses. So I love to watch the sand as it comes out. It's very soothing to me. So I like to have the hourglass and just flip it over. And so when the hour is up, then I'm finished. And so every now and then you just glance up at the hourglass and you see what time it is. Some people don't know that hourglasses, in spite of them being called hourglasses, they do come in different time segments. I have some 30-minute hourglasses. I have some 15-minute ones. So it just depends on what project I'm working on. And then I'll just flip the sand over. And there's something very peaceful and very soothing that when you're working and the sand is just falling, and it's not like the pressure, so you're not like hearing a clock tick tick tick, like you have to finish, or like a timer that's going to go off. You just working and you're looking at the hourglasses. But that's just my thing, because I like hourglasses. As a matter of fact, I collect them. I love them. So that's a way to go. Another way to go that I do when I'm tracking time, I might put a soundtrack of something that's on, or a favorite CD, album, stream music, however you do it. But I put something on that I really enjoy, and I know that the first song to the last song, so the entirety of that soundtrack, I'm going to work. And then when it's finished, I can stop and say, okay, well, I worked from this time to this time. That's the amount of time I wanted to put in this, and I can track my time like that. Again, think about yourself and think about how you work, and think about what motivates you to keep on moving. And for some people, it might be a gospel song. For some people, it might be some soft jazz. For some people, it might just be easy music. And then you have to be careful, because if you're going to put music on with words in it, you can't be sitting there singing and popping your fingers when you're supposed to be working. So if that's not you, if you can't handle that kind of thing, then don't do that for you. I have also been known to, which I do kind of often, is I'll put on a movie or something I've seen before, or because I need the background noise just to keep going, so you don't want to fall asleep. So you just have something going in the background to kind of keep your company. So I might put on a TV show that I've seen before, and the key in there is something that I have seen before, so I don't have to keep looking up to see what's going to happen. But it's something that in my head I already know what's going to happen. But I'm doing it for the background music. But when that show is over, I know that my time is up. Or when 2 shows are over, I know my time is up, depending on what project I'm working on. And so think about that. So when you're thinking about tracking time, we know that if you Google it right now, or if you go on, anywhere in social media, and you say, okay, how do I track time? They're going to give you all kinds of software. They're going to give you different things that you can put on your computer. They're going to give you all the things. Now, I have done some of those things too, and I have them, and they work. It just depends on what project I'm working on. I think the point I want to make is that depending on what you're doing, depending on your work style, depending on all of those things, that's how you make your decision when you're tracking your time. People have been known to do the color blocking when they're planning, which I think is brilliant. So if I, from 8 till, let's just say 11, I want to do my administrative stuff. So on my calendar, I have blocked off in blue at admin. And then right after it might be yellow, because that's client work. And then right after it, it might be my social media marketing. So I'm like blue, yellow, orange, like whatever color. And so you stay in track like that, during this time. So that's the planning part of it. And you can track it that way, because you can say, okay, so between this time and this time, I'm definitely going to do blue. But then again, you have to pay attention to your clock. You don't want to miss. So that's where, kind of setting an alarm works. You take a little bathroom break, or outside break, or walk around break, or exercise, or lunch, and then you come back and you start working. But it is too easy for us, as entrepreneurs, and particularly those of us that are doing desk work all day, that you're working and you're working and you're working, and it's like time is going fast and you don't even realize it. And especially if you get in the groove and you're really moving, time goes so fast. And then before you know it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's 4:00. I was supposed to do this and this and this. So think about a way to track your time. You can preset it, like I'm saying, or you can track it because you want to see how long a particular task takes to do. And you can kind of motivate yourself by saying, okay, well, it took me, an hour and a half to do this project the last time, but the better I get at it, I'm trying to hone it down so that it should only take me an hour to do. So I am going to track this time until I can get in at that hour. But again, all the while making sure that not only is your work steady, but you're working in a spirit of excellence. You're not just trying to rush through it just to say you did it for a particular time. But how are you working? How do you work? Think about that for yourself. What motivates you, and how can you keep track of what you do in a way that makes sense to you. And I'm going to tell you about the computer software. And I still do use Clockify, but there have been times where I turn the clock on and then I'm working, and then I get up to go do something, and then I get distracted, and next you know, it's like I get something on my email telling me, hey, your clock is still running. So I'm like, oh man. And so you have to, again, whatever you're doing, be attentive to what you're doing. But the moral of the story is to do what works for you. I think in almost every video, it always ends, or somewhere in the middle of it that I do, I say these same things: do what works for you. We cannot be like the person next to us. You can't be like the people on social media who tell you, oh, I did this in X amount of time, and you can too. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But you have to work smart. And by working smart, know who you are. Know who you are as a business person. Know who you are in terms of tracking. Know who you are in terms of discipline. Know who you are. Like, if this is you, then then you can do it. If it's not you, don't try it. And even if you do try it and it works, are you going to be able to keep it up consistently? Or is it something that you'll use for certain projects and some kind of time tracking that you'll use for other projects? So think about how you work, and just embrace this. I think that no matter what method you use, tracking your time is extremely important. You want to know, you don't want to waste time, but you want to know, like, what is the bulk of your day? Like, what takes up the most time? What projects take the most time? This is how you're going to plan. This is how you're going to schedule your day. This is how you're going to schedule your evening if you work nights. You don't want to overwhelm yourself by certain projects that you know very well will take hours and hours. So be wise, when you're doing this. So I am so grateful and so glad that you stopped in to check out what we're talking about today. And remember to like and share this video. If you have comments, I'd be happy to check out your comments. So feel free to leave comments, and track your time.